everybody. It's Tatum Gray with the Guardian Voice of the Missing podcast here with my co host, Ricky Tribugi. Want to say hi, Ricky?
Hello. How's everybody doing
Thank you guys
tonight?
all for joining.
Hello.
Thank you guys all for joining.
Cooperate
Make
with me.
sure that you put your names in the comments. You guys can ask questions during the podcast. If you have any questions, if there's any cases that you guys would like us to cover in the future, please let us know. Um, we will make flyers or anything that you guys need us to do. So, again, thank you guys all for joining, and we will go ahead and start off with our first case. It is a case out of Alaska. Carl Joseph Flynn, he is missing from Bethel, Alaska. He went missing this year on August 30th. He was 27 at the time of his disappearance. He is now 28. He is 5'5", 168 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. At the time of his disappearance, him and two other people had went boating on the Kakaskawin, I believe is how you say it, river in Bethel. They were overdue to be back, so law enforcement was alerted and they did an extensive search to locate them. They did locate the other two individuals that were with Carl on board with him on the boat, but they were deceased. However, they have not found Carl at this time. He will remain missing until they do locate him. If you have any information regarding Carl's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Alaska State Troopers at 907 269 5511. Reference the case number AK22091026. He also has his cases out in NamUs, and that case number is MP 95771.
A case in Manhattan where there was three guys that went boating and the boat they were in, I guess, capsized and the two were found deceased, but one's still actively missing. Can't think of his name, but very similar.
Yeah, very similar. There's been a lot of cases where they have had boating accidents, swimming accidents, and haven't located the bodies, but I mean, they will still remain missing. Um, JP, we're not going to cover him tonight. We covered him last week, but I will put him back on this week for next week. If that is okay, I'll let you guys know more about JP, who's missing out of Missouri, but we will cover him again. On to the next one. Out of Pennsylvania. This is Candace Leanne Coffis, I believe is how you say your last name. She is missing from Midville, Pennsylvania. She went missing on July 16th of this year. She was 34 at the time of her disappearance. She has now turned 35. She's 4'9", 95 pounds. She has sandy blonde hair and green eyes. At the time, let's see, she does wear blue metal frame glasses and she is missing her front teeth. She has a scar on her right elbow and shoulder from her surgery. She was last seen wearing a purple shirt, orange floral shorts, purple and blue sneakers. Candace has Prader-Willi syndrome and has about a mentality of a 10 to 12-year-old. She had left home before and the Children's Institute in Pittsburgh for the Prader-Willi unit, probably searching because this is part of the condition that she has. They will search for food due to their medical condition. She has been found before near water, but she has never been gone this long. Candace was last seen on the day of her disappearance on the railroad tracks on the state game land number 213 on Route 285, which is between Geneva, Pennsylvania, and the Conneaut Lake, Pennsylvania, around 5:30 to 5:45 in the morning. She did leave on foot. She has no ID, and she had about $13 with her. Candace is very well known, as you can see from the pictures, wearing a headband. Family did state that she did not have a headband on when she left. They have done a lot of searches for her. They have just recently put a big billboard on the side of the road for her. There is a $12,500 reward for her if locating her information to locate her. If you have any information on Candace's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Pennsylvania State Police at 814 332 6911. Their case number is PA 22 917602. She's also out on NamUs, and that is number is MP 94040. I know they have really looked for her for quite a while. It's just, I mean, she has disappeared before, but it's only been for a few hours, and now she's been gone for several months. But they have really went out and looked for her. So I'm hoping that they'll get her
Hmm.
located.
I've never heard of that Prader-Willi syndrome. What is that? I mean, I've never heard of that.
Um, what her family told me is it causes them to like always, look for food, and um, I'm not for sure if it deals a lot with like why her mentality is where it's at, why she
Mm.
has such a younger mentality than what her age is. But from what I understand, everybody where she lives, like everybody recognized her, like they knew who she was when they saw her and everything. So yeah,
Well, even the picture, she looks like a kid.
hmm, yeah.
Well,
And
I
she
thought she
missed
was
her
a kid until
birthday. Yeah,
well,
and she's already missed a birthday. I know that her family desperately wants to have her home. So
mm,
yeah, if you guys know of anything, please share her flyer, and let's see if we could get her located. We're going to do one of the cases that Ricky has covered, Alex Head. So I'm going to let Ricky take over.
yep, he's missing from. Okay, Alex Head's missing from Dickinson County, Kansas since January 15th, 2019. He's 33 when he went missing. He's now 37. He's 5'10", weighs 134 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. He was last seen driving a silver 2002 Dodge Durango with a broken headlight and a United States Air Force sticker on the back window. Alex mainly drove back roads rather than the highways. His last known location was the Chapman Enterprise, Kansas area. And at the time of his disappearance, he was 33. He's now 37. He's 5'10", weighs 135 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Alex's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Dickinson County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-263-4081 or 785-263-4041, or you can call in a tip anonymously at 888-535-8477 or at p3tips.com, or you can call KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Alex located and see if he's okay.
Yeah, and from what I understand, when I had spoken to law enforcement, they haven't found his vehicle either. So, um, and that is a
Yep,
picture of
that's
his
correct.
vehicle. So
Yeah,
not only is
he,
he missing, they don't have his vehicle. But to give you guys an understanding, Dickinson County, out in that area is a lot of hills, a lot of pasture land and stuff,
mm-hmm,
and there's a lot of back roads back and through there. So
right.
that definitely was one. There is an interstate that goes, through there, but he never traveled the interstate. They said he always took back roads through there. So
Right.
hopefully they will get some tips. I know the detectives are really trying to locate him. Our next case is out of Arizona. It is for Calvert Baker. He is indigenous. That's why we have the red alert on there. He went missing in July 18th of 2022. He was 40 years old. He is between the height of 5'9" and 5'10", and weighs between 215 and 220. He has black hair and brown eyes. He does have his bottom lip pierced. He has multiple tattoos on his arm and his hands. If you see from the picture, his hand looks like he has like some musical notes on it. I am not for sure what's on his arms. That was the best picture I could get from him. But he also wears turquoise rings on his left ring finger, which you can see the picture of his ring in that picture on his flyer. He was last known wearing gray shirt with blue sweatpants, tennis shoes, and the camouflage hat that you see pictured there. That is the hat like what he was wearing. He also belongs to the Navajo Nation. If you have any information regarding Calvert's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Navajo Nation Arizona Police Department, the Chinese District at 928 674 2000. Reference the case number is 05 22 01 8230. He is also out on NamUs, and his case number is MP 96165. So hoping that someone out there, will recognize him with his tattoos and always wearing those turquoise rings, they said. So if you guys have any information where he's at, please let law enforcement know or send us a message and we can definitely get that information over to law enforcement. Ricky, would you like to do the next one? Andrew
Sure.
Clayton Shields?
Sure. Let me grab it here real Of course. Nope. There it
In
is.
some of the
And it's
cases, we
March
don't have a lot of.
12th of 20.
Go ahead.
Do okay. Andrew Clayton Shields
Right.
missing from Anaconda, Montana since March 12th, 2022. Was 32 years old when he went missing. He's now 33. He's 5'10", 171 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. He was left in Montana, was supposed to go to Butte, excuse me, but he never arrived. His vehicle was found in Deer Lodge County running with doors open. His disappearance, you know his whereabouts. Please call the Anaconda Deer Lodge County, Montana Police Department at 406-563 and see if we can get some information generated to help find Andrew and make sure he's all right.
Yeah, definitely. Where it's, sounds a little suspicious that, his car was actually running and the doors were open when they did locate
Yeah.
his vehicle. So hopefully someone maybe saw something when they were driving by or anything that they can have some information to get him located.
Yeah.
He's been gone for almost a year. I mean, we're going to roll around a year with him.
Yeah. If you see something, say something.
Yeah. And if you don't, like I said, if you don't feel comfortable calling law enforcement, send the information to one of us. We most definitely will contact law enforcement for you. And a lot of times when you guys do make tips into law enforcement, you can be anonymous with them. Just tell them that, you just wanted to give that tip, but you would like to, remain unknown, and they can do that for you. All right. So our next case is out of South Salt Lake, Utah. It's Cornelius Frederick Buckslag, I believe is how he pronounces his last name. He went missing in June of 6 of this year. He was 29 at the time of his disappearance. He is now 30. He's between the height of 6 foot and 6'2", and weight is between 100 and 150 pounds. He has sandy hair and his eyes are gray. Um, he could possibly have a goatee. We do have pictures of both him with a goatee and without. He does have a scar on his lower stomach, about 2 inches long, and a small scar from smallpox vaccination on his left arm. He does go by the name of Casey. Cornelius was last seen wearing a gray shirt and dark green Wrangler cargo pants in early June, leaving his apartment. His silver and black 2021 Suzuki SX4 was located, but not hidden in a remote area of the Summit County at the Castle Rock exit 180 on June 8th. So, a couple days after his disappearance, they did locate his car. The car license plate was EO68FE, had been removed prior to the car being located. So he did have his license plate had been removed before they had found it. They're not for sure if that has anything to do with his disappearance or not, or if someone just came along and saw it abandoned and took it off. If you have any information regarding Cornelius's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the South Salt Lake City, Utah Police Department at 801 412 3600. Reference to the case number is LK 2022 18693. His case is also located on NamUs. You can use the number MP93031. Hopefully, I know his family is really wanting him home as well, just like all of our cases. So hopefully, someone out there will see something and they will say something if we can get him back home.
Definitely.
So our next case I got last week, actually before the podcast, family member reached out to me. He is from Omaha, Nebraska. His name is Jason Smith. He went missing on October 18th of 2022. At the time of his disappearance, he was 38, and now he is 39. He is 6'2", 320. His weight is 320. He has brown hair, hazel eyes. He does have a medical conditions that do requires medication that he does not have. He did speak to a family member on October 18th of 2022 and said he was going camping with some friends in their RV in Pine Bluff, Wyoming. Family is not sure who the friends were that he was going with, but no one has seen or spoken to him since. Police have done some searches but have been unsuccessful in locating him. If you have any information regarding Jason's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Omaha, Nebraska Police Department's Special Victims Unit at 402-444-5818 or the Nebraska Missing Persons Clearinghouse at 877-441-LOST, or the last four is 5678. His case number is AS62185. And I know his family do not live, I believe, in the same state that he went missing from. So they are definitely, if you're in the Nebraska area or even in the Wyoming area, if you can share his flyer, because they are not for sure if he did actually leave Omaha. But if you guys could cover those areas, I know his family would be very grateful.
Yeah, that's an interesting case.
Yeah.
They don't know who the friends were or anything.
No, family has no idea who the friends were that he was going with. From what I understand, he leads pretty private life. Is pretty low key. But yeah, his family has no idea. So if you know him, please reach out to law enforcement, and maybe anything can help his case. That's one thing to remember is doesn't matter how small the information is, it could be the exact thing that the police need to find somebody.
Right. Yeah, if you know something, definitely say something.
Absolutely. Our next case is out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Alex Xander, he goes by Alex Michael Crunk. He went missing on July 20th of 2020. He was 33 at the time of his disappearance, and he is now 35. He is 6 foot tall, 170 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. Alex does have some mental health issues, and his delusions have increased over time. His family has reported. Alex was last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, red flannel, jeans, and white shoes at the McDonald's on North 25th Street and West Wisconsin Avenue. The last call from him was back in August 6th of 2020. Alex's last known residence was on the block of the 19,000 West and Finn Place. Alex had recently moved from Chicago, Illinois to Milwaukee. He had been working as a welder. He had told his friends that he wanted to travel to Texas and then on to Mexico to meet a woman that he had met online. He did not have enough money to travel, and his only means of travel was either on foot, bus, or getting a ride from somebody else. There's nothing that confirms that he ever did follow through with his plans to go meet this woman. Alex always keeps in touch with his family on a regular basis, and he would never voluntarily not make contact with his loved ones or be gone this long. Family does suspect foul play in his disappearance. If you have any information regarding Alex's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Police Department, District 1 at 414-935-7405. Reference the case number 210-76000083. He is also out on NamUs, missing due the MP79246. I know that his family is they share his story all over. I don't know if anybody else has seen it. But yeah, they definitely do not believe that he left on his own accord. They believe there's people that are involved in his disappearance.
I've always been a firm believer that somebody knows something. It's just a matter of doing the right thing and speaking up.
Right, definitely. Ricky, I'm going to have you do the next two.
Okay. Denise, here real quick here. She's 22. She's 15 years old. She's 5'6", 150 pounds. She might be in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Again, she's 15 years old. She's 5'6", weighs 150 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Denise's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Richmond County, Georgia Sheriff's Office at 706-821-1080 and see if we can't help get Denise located and back to where she needs to be.
And I recently just added a second picture on her flyer. So the
Okay.
next case, yeah, I just and added Lopez. They didn't have her hyphenated name, so I've added that as well. The next case is one of Ricky's cases that he covers every week on his podcast, his KMU podcast. But I wanted him to be able to share it out here to get more of her story out there.
Dana Jane Bruce, her aunt watches regularly on our KMU podcast, and she's very grateful that we keep continuing to share her every week. So, but Dana's missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. She'd now be 37. She's 5'2", weighs 98 pounds, has brown hair and greener hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia on October 4th, 2008. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with the man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man that Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She doesn't have doesn't have any debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 23. She would now be 37. She's 5'2" and weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black ends with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. Dana was last known to be wearing a black t shirt with the word rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. Dana has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She's blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced one time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100. We're Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178. Or they have a toll-free number that's 866-362-6422. And see if we can't help get Dana located and back to her family. So, like I said, I know they're looking hard and hot and heavy for her, and they have been since she disappeared, and they're not going to let up until they find her.
Right. And her kids are now older. I believe, aren't they both in high school, or maybe one's recently graduated high school as well?
I
They're
don't
getting
think they're
close.
quite.
I know that.
They're both teachers for sure.
So I know that they're,
So,
missing their mom, and um, her
yeah.
aunt is very vigilant on trying to find her. So,
Yep, she is.
okay. So our next case is Joanna Luna. Luna's case started out as an Amber Alert. Her Amber Alert has been canceled, so there is some updated information on it. But she is missing out of San Antonio, Texas. She went missing on November 6th of 2022. She's 13 years old. Her height is 5'5". She's 110 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a dark gray t-shirt, black and pink Nike shorts, and pink and purple slides. It took a long time. I'm not quite for sure on all the details of why it took them so long to do an Amber Alert on her, but the Amber Alert was canceled by law enforcement on November 15th of 2022. She was with a gentleman who was 17 years old. His name is Richard Xavier Rodriguez. He is still currently a suspect in her abduction. They were in a U-Haul van, but since the Amber Alert has canceled, they don't think the U-Haul vehicle had anything to do with it. But Richard Rodriguez is still a suspect in her case. She had left in the morning of August 20th before 3 a.m. From her home off of Springdale Drive near Babcock Road there in San Antonio. If you have any information regarding Joanne's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call 911 or the San Antonio Police Department at 210-207-7660. Her NCMEC number is 1465105. When I did a little bit more research on her case, I guess they've had several, like more than 20 kids that went missing in San Antonio around the same time. But yeah, they located the U-Haul and they ended up canceling her Amber Alert. And I'm not really sure why they would do that.
Have they
Considering they
located
still,
him?
no. As far as I know, he's still considered a suspect. I don't know that they've located him, but they did
Hmm.
locate the U-Haul.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
just wondered if they'd found him or not.
not that I have found that they've released that information if they have found him, but that he is still
Hmm.
a suspect, and he's 17 years old. So, you know,
Hmm.
I don't know, but it took them quite a while to even put her out as an Amber Alert, and then they canceled it
Hmm.
when the U-Haul was
Interesting.
found. So, yeah, I'm not really. for sure on all that, but I will keep you guys updated on her case. I will do some more research and see what I can find out. We're going to do an unsolved homicide tonight. We're going to try to do one every podcast. So even if you guys have some unsolved homicides or suspicious deaths, please let us know. And we'll try to get at least one covered every show. I'm going to let Ricky is the one that has done this case, and I'm going to let him talk about it.
Okay. This is Kenneth Kenny Lee Collier. It was back in December 17th, 1997 in Hutchinson, Kansas. In December 1997, concern began after Kenneth Lee Collier, or Kenny as his friends called him for days, didn't show up for work at J&J Drainage in Hutchinson. After not seeing Kenneth or hearing from him for 3 days, a missing persons report was filed by a coworker of Kenneth. 2 months later, in February of 1998, two kids playing in a pasture discovered Kenneth's body. He had been murdered execution style. At the time of his death, Kenneth worked 2 to 3 jobs and was divorced. Kenneth was also in a relationship with another woman. Investigators learned that Kenneth had just received his holiday bonus check, and after he cashed his check and bought some groceries, Kenneth went to the now abandoned Jack's of Clubs bar in Hutchinson. A couple days after Kenneth was last seen, his truck was found. Inside his truck were his groceries, but there was no sign of Kenneth. People at the bar that night say he had been flashing money. Investigators theorize that Kenneth was taken from Jack of Clubs or went with somebody at the bar to the location where his body was later found. They also believe that Kenneth knew his killer or killers. 2 or 3 persons of interest have been developed by investigators, but none have been publicly named. If you have any information regarding Kenneth's murder, please call the Reno County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-694-2735 or Reno County Crime Stoppers. Their numbers are 620-694-2666, and they have a toll-free number, 1-800-222-8477. See if we can't help get some justice for Kenny and his family.
That's been quite a long time.
Yeah.
If you guys have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave some comments if you want to. I'm going to now show you guys our recent located safes that we've had. So we will show you that video. It's always good to see the ones that get located.
Definitely.
Definitely praying. I would love to locate everyone that's missing. So it is always good to see that we do have ones that do get located out there. Okay,
Right.
our next case is out of Oklahoma. Jennifer Payne. She's missing from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. She went missing on December 1st, 2022. Her age is 36. She is 5'3", 170 to 180 pounds, brown hair, green eyes. Jennifer does have multiple tattoos, as you can see on the 2 pictures on the side. Those are pictures of the ones that I do have of her. She does have an M. The M one is on her left arm. She has bonbon on her right forearm, love on her left wrist, praying hands on her back, a heart on one ear and a crown on the other, and a skull in the middle of her chest. She does have medical and mental health conditions that do require medication. Jennifer could go by Ginny or Jennifer Hall. She was last seen wearing a black Rudy's construction hoodie, gray shorts, and Nike slides. After she had gotten out of a vehicle that she was in, that she had a disagreement with the driver. She got out in the area around Reno and Mustang Road there in Oklahoma City. If you have any information regarding Jennifer's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Canadian County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Office at 405 422 2800. Her case number is 2201150. Speaking on her case, she has been seen with an individual there in Oklahoma City. He is considered dangerous and not to be approached if you do see them. Um, to immediately call law enforcement and to let them know. Her family is very concerned about getting her located. They've had some contact with her off and on, but the um, police department will not clear her um, as not missing until they physically see her. And I believe that from what I've been told is she's, called law enforcement, but they keep telling her they're not going to clear her from being missing until they actually see her and know that is who's calling in. And the family's not going to close her case either until they get her located because they are worried about her safety with this individual that she's with. Um, and then plus with some of her medical and mental health conditions, they're worried for her. So if you're in the Oklahoma City, if you see her, do not approach. Um, Call law enforcement and let them know where she's at. So I'm hoping
Definitely.
she'll.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
scary situation.
yeah, definitely scary. I know that her family and her loved ones are very much worried about her. So please share her flyer. And, again, just in any of our missing persons case, we never know everything that's going on with them. Um, be careful with approaching them because I know we do have several cases that have dealings with individuals that are not safe individuals or trustworthy individuals to be around. And we want to make sure to keep everybody safe. But if you do see them, please contact law enforcement or send us, you know, a message and let us know um, so we can maybe help get them located and away from harm.
Yeah, definitely.
Our next case is out of Omaha, Nebraska. Again, this is an Indigenous case. His name is Merle Glenn Saul. He is from Omaha, Nebraska. He went missing in October 1st of 2015. He was 55 at the time of his disappearance. He is now 62. He's between the height of 5'8" and 5'10", 180 pounds. He now has gray hair and brown eyes. He is enrolled in the Santee Sioux Nation. He has the tip of his nose is missing, scars on his forehead, left wrist, and his nose. He has had previous frostbite on both of his feet, which do make it very difficult for him to walk. He has tattoos on his left arm, left forearm, and finger. One on his arm says Indian. This is the best picture I could get. You can kind of see it close up, and it does say Indian on it. He was last seen wearing dark blue pants, a gray sweatshirt, a camel jacket, and a veteran's hat, which he always, from what I understand, always wore. He was carrying a black backpack, and he is known to be homeless. He had been dropped off on the interstate at the Grand Island exit and not in town. He was actually dropped off at the exit on the interstate. He was headed to Omaha. He wanted to go to Omaha. From what I understand from law enforcement, is he wanted to leave and go back to Omaha. He was with family. He didn't want to wait, so they took him as far as Grand Island. He didn't wait. They took him to Grand Island and just left him right there on the exit. So they're not for sure if he's still in the Grand Island or if he got picked up by, another vehicle or what, but he has not been seen or heard from since. If you had any information regarding Merrill's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Omaha, Nebraska Police Department at 402 444 4127 or the Nebraska Missing Persons Clearinghouse at 877 441 LOST 5678. His case number for Omaha Police Department is AH54426. He also is out on NamUs MP 32680. I know that the Omaha police really would like to get his case solved and locate him. It's a long time to
Yeah.
be gone. Not
Hmm.
really quite sure why they dropped him there on the interstate, but I've traveled on that interstate and it's a busy interstate. So someone could have picked him up, or
Yeah.
maybe he's just still in that area, but it's still quite a distance between Grand Island, Nebraska and Omaha.
No, yeah.
So it's not really walking distance. So I hope that they, again, out there's a lot of pasture land and stuff. So if you guys know anything, please let us know or call the detectives in Omaha.
Yeah, definitely. If you know anything at all, no matter how small you think it is, it could be a huge piece that investigators need. So share it by all means.
All right, Ricky, the next case is yours
Okay.
or Noah.
Yep. No, Moats. He's missing from Miami, Oklahoma since November 4th of 2022. He's 17. He's 5'10", weighs 135 pounds, has light golden brown hair and blue eyes. He does sometimes use the last name Allen as opposed to Moats. It's believed that Noah may still be in the local Miami, Oklahoma area, or he may be in the Blue Jacket, Veneta, Grove, Jay, Fairland, or Afton, Oklahoma areas. Excuse me. He's 17 years old, 5'10", weighs 135 pounds, has light golden blonde hair and blue eyes, or brown hair and blue eyes. Excuse me. I got to fix that. Noah is last known to be wearing a black hoodie, dark gray athletic sweats, and black high top Vans shoes. He was also wearing a navy blue ball cap with the letter B in gold, which you can see there in a couple of the photos there. If you have any information regarding Noah's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Miami, Oklahoma Police Department at 918-542-5585 and reference case number 2022-1613 and see if we can help get Noah located and back home to his family. From what his mom tells me, all these towns, Miami, Blue Jacket, Vinita, Grove, Jay, Fairland, are all clustered really close together, so he could be in any one of those areas.
Okay. All right. We have three more cases. So I'm going to start with this one. I know her family appreciates anybody that is sharing her flyer out there. They want to get her case seen more and hopefully get her located and back home. So this is Melissa Ann Trumpy. She is missing from Shannon, Illinois. She went missing on October 26th of 2021. She disappeared. She was 37 years old. She is now 38. She is 5'10", 163 pounds, blonde hair, and blue eyes. Um, she does have multiple tattoos. She has which I will show you guys here in a little bit, her tattoos and her piercings. She has a heart in the middle of her chest and swallow birds that go up on her shoulder. Her left thigh with a skull with other multiple tattoos covering the rest of her leg. Her right arm has lotus flowers and a koi fish, and on her back she has footprints with names and dates on them. She also has multiple piercings, her nose, her upper lip. She has three studs on her right cheek and four on her left cheek. She also sometimes will have hair extensions in her hair. She was last seen in Monroe, Wisconsin, and she was traveling to Shannon, Illinois, and was last seen with her boyfriend at the time. She was last seen wearing a black Michael Kors jacket with unknown colored shirt underneath, blue jeans that had holes, and unknown colored shoes. Her boyfriend and her were driving in her silver Toyota Tundra, which was located the next day abandoned on Bolton Road in Stevensons County, Illinois. All of Melissa's belongings were still in the car. Melissa has not been seen or heard from since, which is very out of the ordinary for her not to have contact with her loved ones and especially to not be with her children. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance. If you have any information regarding Melissa's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Greene County, Illinois Sheriff at 608-328-9400 or the Greene County, Illinois Crime Stoppers at 800-422-7463 or the Carroll County, Illinois Sheriff at 816-244-2635. Her case number is G21 08630 for the Greene County Sheriff, and for the Carroll, it is 21-000-15341. She is also out on NamUs MP 85898. Um, it is said when she had left, she had spoken to a friend and she really did not want to leave and go back with her boyfriend. Um, from my understanding, the relationship was pretty rocky. But it is not like her to not go to work. It is not like her not to have contact with her family, and she definitely would never have left her children behind. They have done some searches for her um, and stuff. From my understanding, the individual that she was with, his father was also murdered, and they located his body out on the same road that her vehicle was found, just a few miles apart. And they feel like that guy is suspect in that as well.
Wow.
So her family definitely wants her back home. Any information, somebody knows something. The boyfriend and his friend were had also stolen a vehicle as well right after she disappeared, and yeah,
Mm.
so there's a lot to her case. I can't share everything that I do know, but I will keep talking about her and get um, her case out there. So I appreciate anybody that will share her case out there because someone definitely knows something, and people aren't being cooperative.
Wow.
But yeah, those are some of her tattoos and her piercings.
I don't think I've ever seen that kind of a piercing set up around her eye like that before. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, her children are missing her. So
Yeah, no
please, if
doubt.
someone can say something.
Definitely.
All right. Yeah. We have three more. I missed one. We have three more. So this one is another Wisconsin case out of Milwaukee. Ryan Christopher Wilfie. He went missing on April 4th of 2022. He was 36 at the time of his disappearance. He is now 37. His height is 5'10". He's 165 pounds, sandy hair, and blue eyes. Um, he has a tattoo on his upper arm, and you can see here it says the long, hard road of struggle and pain. He has been known to wear a goatee or have a mustache. He was last seen by his ex roommate at the 3650 South 14th Street on April 4th of 2022 at 3:30 p.m. He had left on foot wearing a black fleece zip-up jacket, black jeans, blue beanie hat, and brown work boots. So these two surveillance pictures, this was actually the last time that he was seen on film going in to where he was living, I believe. He was carrying that blue backpack that you can see that's on his back, and then you also can see the white trash bag. He had that. So Ryan's cell phone they had found in an alley on 8th Street and Oklahoma Street on October 5th, the next day. And the exact location on that street or in that area is unknown, but his backpack was found later that afternoon on the 5th at the residence he was last seen on April 4th, and it was leaning up against the house. So where you see him here, this was on the 4th. He had all that with him, and then the next day they located his backpack at the same location. If you have any information regarding Ryan's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Police Department, District 1 at 414-935-7405. Case number is 22-096-0093. He is out on NamUs, MP 91279. Um, it's not like him either to not have contact with his family. But I just find it really odd that the backpack wasn't there on the 4th and then it was found on the 5th, the last place he was seen. And his phone was located somewhere else. So very kind of suspicious on his him missing. But hopefully, if somebody knows something, please speak up. All right, two more cases. All right, this is Tiffany Reed. She also is Indigenous. She's missing from Shiprock, New Mexico. She went missing on May 17th of 2004. At her time of her disappearance, she was 16 years old. She is now 35. She is 5'3", 115 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. She does have a scar under her right eye and a scar from a cigarette burn on her arm. Tiffany has the nickname KC. She is enrolled in the Navajo Nation. She was last seen leaving her home and she was heading to the Shiprock Northwest High School around 8:20 a.m. However, she never did arrive at the high school. She was carrying a black backpack and a purse that had her nickname KC on it. Tiffany had been missing for a week before her mother had reported her missing. Tiffany's makeup bag was found in the base of the Carzara Mountains near Sweetwater, Arizona. There were other items of clothing in that area as well. However, none were positively identified as Tiffany's. If you have any information regarding Tiffany's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Navajo, New Mexico Department of Public Safety at 505-368-1350. Case number is 0206-08-735. NCMEC is 99079, and she is out on NamUs at MP4352. And I do want to talk a little bit before we do our last case, especially, where they did find her purse with her initials on it, and there was other clothes. We're in hunting season around parts of the nation, or if you're an avid hiker or you just like the wilderness, please take the time to really look out where you're walking, where you're hunting. If you see stuff like clothing or stuff that just shouldn't belong out there, um, get that reported to law enforcement, because you never know. It could be someone that is missing, or there's potential that there's somebody that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And letting law enforcement know those things, they can start searching those areas and maybe be able to recover some of the people that are missing. I know we don't always want to talk about the fact that some of our missing individuals do not come home to us the way we would like, but I know a lot of families and loved ones out there would love to have some sort of closure to know where their
Right.
loved one is. So being alert when you're out in the wilderness is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Anything from hiking, fishing, whatever. If you see something, take pictures. Don't disturb it. Don't touch it or anything. Take pictures of it. Mark down where your location is, and I would call local law enforcement and let them know that you found this. It was very suspicious, and let law enforcement see what's going on there and maybe do a search. And could be something, could be nothing, but at least you
Right.
know we know.
Yeah. Yeah, and to reiterate what you were saying, if you do find something that you find suspicious, don't touch it. Just take pictures of it. Find a way to mark the area where you found it so you can find it when you get law enforcement out there to show them where it's at. But let them take care of, looking at it and picking it up because they'll be wearing latex gloves, obviously. But let them take care of looking at it, see if it's something important or not. Let them make that decision and go from there.
Absolutely. All right, so our last case that we're going to cover, is Abby Rain Schaefer. Abby went missing out of Kansas City, Missouri on May 23rd of 2022. She was 22 at the time of her disappearance. She is 5'2", 120 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She does have a birthmark on her forehead, and she does have multiple tattoos, which I will show you those here in a little bit. Abby had went missing around 12:40 p.m. when she got into an unknown gray car with an unknown male individual. That car is on her flyer still. They have located the car. We cannot give out any information about the gentleman driving the car, but law enforcement has released that the car has been located, because the car was a big deal when she first went missing, was getting that located. We're happy to report that they have located the car. The gentleman in the car had been sitting outside her home for around 6 hours prior to Abby coming out. Um, as you can see, is she is standing out there talking to that individual. In the picture up here where you see her, she was last seen wearing this outfit, the tan crop top, long sleeve shirt, black leggings, and gray Nike sandals. This is her coming back in after talking to that individual, and if this was caught on a door camera. She was coming in to get her cat, which you can see pictured here as well. The cat has been located, and the cat is back with her family. Um, from what I understand, animal control um, returned the cat um, to her family. Um, she was last seen on the video surveillance. That is the last time that she had been seen, but they do know that she was taken to an address in South Kansas City, Missouri, where people observed her entering the address, but she has never been seen coming out of that address. Um, she does have 2 pages. We do get a lot of people talking on there. I will address that law enforcement is very much working on her case. I know that we would love to have more information from law enforcement, but getting everybody to understand on any of these cases, law enforcement can only let out what they can let out, because if there's any type of foul play, or they have people that are suspect to any type of criminal activity or anything. You do not want that case to be compromised, especially if something has happened, because they want to be able, they have one shot in prosecuting people. And so I know everybody, she has great support out there for her. Um, I cannot applaud how much support she gets for her to be located and found. Um, but yeah, she is still missing, but law enforcement is definitely running down any tip that they get. So if you know something, and we know somebody knows something about where Abby is, please say something. Her family deserves the right to have her home. Um, you can be anonymous. You can call law enforcement and be anonymous. You can send a message to her page and be anonymous. You can send a message to KMU, to Guardian, and you can be anonymous. But, I want people to think about the fact that if this was your loved one, would you not want somebody to say something? That's the biggest thing. If you have any information on Abby's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Missouri. Um, it was the sex crime / missing person unit. They are a joint unit at 816-234-5220. Her case number is KC 220-35898. She is also out on NamUs, MP 94235. And I will show you her tattoos. But yes, if you guys know something, please say something. Because it's been over 6 months now that she has been missing. Um,
Um,
yeah.
a
And we know
long
somebody
time.
knows something. Yeah. Somebody knows something out there. You know, no matter what it is or what any little thing could help her be found.
Right.
You know, these guys don't deserve to nobody know what happened to them. So, um, that is the last case of the show. We appreciate all of you guys watching, all being here. Like I said, send us a message if there's cases out there you'd like to see us cover. I know next week, um, someone brought it to my attention about missing teens in the Memphis, Tennessee area. I did look into that. So far, I've came across 23. I think is what I told you, Ricky.
I think that's what it
23.
was.
And I stopped looking at this moment. Um, Not that I'm going to quit looking into it, but 23 kids, African American, between the age 12 and 17, have been missing within a month's time. Now, I have spoken to law enforcement. They did say, everybody has to remember that I guess 80% of Memphis is African American, but that's still a large number for teens to be missing.
Wow.
Um, so I am working on flyers for those and get those shared. I will try to get some of those cases shared, but I mean, some of the I have coming that I'm done.
Wow.
But
That's a lot
yeah,
missing
that's a
from
lot
one
of
place.
kids. Um, yeah, and I think the next one is what I found out on Joanna Luna. There's quite a large number, I think around 30 kids that have been missing around the San Antonio, Texas, around the time of her disappearance.
Wow.
Um, and these are cases that people aren't hearing about. So we definitely want to get cases heard that you don't hear about, because
Right.
all these cases deserve to have a voice to be heard. So we definitely want to get these cases heard. So if you know about a case, you want it to be heard, and you want it shared all over the place, please reach out to me and Ricky. We will definitely do our best to get those cases out there.
Right.
Also, I know that I know I am. I don't know if I can rope Ricky to do it anymore because I've got him doing 2 podcasts now. He has his own, and then make sure you guys check out Ricky's podcast. His is every other Tuesday, Thursday, 9 o'clock.
Right.
Check out his website, the Kansas Missing and Unsolved. He also runs the Missouri Missing and Unsolved, and then he also has the Kansas Missing and Unsolved Homicides. So definitely check his podcast out as well. And like I said, I'm going to try to do some more lives and stuff, but we will keep doing the podcast.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I
The
appreciate
next.
you guys all.
Yeah, our next KMU pod will be this coming Thursday, so a week from today. Will be the next one.
Yep. And then we will have this podcast at 7:30 again next Thursday. I might just do a special one for the Memphis children that are missing because 23 cases, a lot of cases to cover.
Yeah, it is.
But
And
I'm going to try to do a lot more lives.
Especially if that's just scratching the surface.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent a little time looking those cases up. So
Yeah.
like I said, guys, we will continue always sharing these cases out there for you guys. Just let us know. And I know I got a request for JP Parton to be covered again. I will definitely cover his case again. I work with some great ladies out in Missouri that have been looking for him. He's been missing since 2021. And there's some things in the works on his case, and there's some things in the works on Abby's case that I cannot share at this time. But we will definitely keep you guys posted on any of our cases, on anything that's new. But I appreciate you guys all definitely watching and definitely sharing. And I know the families appreciate it. So, Ricky, do you want to send us out with a prayer? And we will see you guys next week, or message us anytime. Thank you, guys.
Sure. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight to go over these missing persons cases and unsolved homicide cases. And just pray that they reach the right ears and the right heart to do the right thing, and make the call to help bring a person home or solve solve a case. And until we see each other again next week, you guys take care, stay safe, God bless, and amen.
Thank you, guys.